What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out called Dreamin', the Deep Source Remix, who is also a Splinterlands player, by the way. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I am about a week late in doing this update for you. I've been doing it monthly, usually like the first week of the month, but things were just a little crazy for me. So we now have the Spellbook and sign-up updates, right? This is coming in, the date today that I'm doing this is July 12th. The last time I did it was June 3rd, right? And like I said, it's usually within the first couple of days of the month. So we got about 5 weeks worth of data here extra rather than the usual 4. But some things to consider, right? We're going to go through these. We'll talk about the Spellbook signups and then the conversion. The numbers are a little bit different. It's not all rosy, but like I said, there's a lot of things to consider. So let's start here with the Spellbooks. You can see here, right? So I have the 30-day, or sorry, 180 days. So like the last 6 months, you can see that we are still on the rise in that sense. So 633 Spellbooks over the past 180 days versus 609 the last time we checked this, right? So the average is continuing to increase. Same here on the 90-day, right? Which again, this is more just a recency bias. So 382 versus 334. That means an average of 4.24 per day, but it does drop off significantly. So that was really only just capturing that kind of middle period pre and maybe slightly post Conclave Arcana, which came out in when is that? May, man, so it's been like 2 months actually, May 13th. Wow, time flies. I cannot believe that. So then when we look at the time period here that is completely within Conclave Arcana's lifetime, right? The 30-day and the 14-day, it has essentially fallen off a cliff. So you can see that the average sign up, or I should say Spellbook, not sign up, but the average Spellbook purchase per day has gone down significantly, under 3 in both of these time frames. Now, the thing is, when we look at signups, what's fascinating to see is that the metrics are up above across the board, right? So whatever time frame you want to look at it, the 6-month, the 3-month, the 30-day, or the 14-day, the 2-week, like everything is up across the board. And a lot of that, I believe, was due to the partnership that they had with YGG, right? So a lot of new players coming in, a lot of folks signing up, but not necessarily buying Spellbooks. And you can see this here in the conversion side as well, right? So all the conversion numbers are down, and down dramatically in the last month. So what do I make of this, right? Especially if we look at the last 30 days specifically, because that takes us to mid-June, which is really just 1 month into Conclave Arcana. I'll say this. There was a lot of hype leading up into Conclave Arcana, and there were a lot of things that the team was doing in February, March, April, right? All of that stuff was leading into the Conclave Arcana release with the launch of survival mode, with the launch of Land 1.75. Then you had the pre-sale, and of course, obviously, Conclave Arcana itself coming out May 13th. So all of that is still within this time frame that we're looking at, right? So this goes back to January 12th, essentially, right? If we're looking at roughly the last 180 days. So all of that is within this time frame, and I think that that's important to keep in mind. But I will say this: the fall off, or like the honeymoon. Well, let's phrase it this way: the honeymoon euphoria phase for Conclave Arcana did not last as long as I thought it would. And not that I think that it would have lasted like 2 months, but I thought that it would have lasted, maybe into mid-June, give it like a full month. But it really felt like by the time June rolled around, people were either like, I'm in or I'm out, or, you had players who were going in and getting all of their cards, leveling up all their decks, getting all the black foils or the gold foils, whatever it is that they were chasing. And we hit that lull period relatively early. I remember making a video about it. I don't know the date, but you can go look it up. And so the fact that we have been in this lull period now for a little bit, right? We'll call it a month or so, maybe a month plus, is interesting to note. That being said, it's not like I see the numbers rising dramatically. In fact, if I look at it here, sorry, I'm not looking at it on the page, but it's not like the numbers are going up over the past like 14 days or 30 days. If anything, things have kind of like trailed off. But what gives me a little hope is that we are now in the second half of 2025. We are in the back half of that 12 to 18 month range following Bitcoin halving, and Bitcoin has hit new all-time highs. I think it crossed like 118,000 yesterday. All of this to say, I don't know what's going to happen with altcoins. Everybody's waiting for an alt season that has not come yet in any way, shape, or form, at least not in a significant way. So I don't know how that translates to Splinterlands itself. But if we do get the traditional 4-year cycle that does play out during these next couple of months or during the second half of the year, I do think Splinterlands will benefit. And best part is the game is in a much better place to take advantage. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this and say we are going to see that. I am going to say, though, that the Conclave Arcana presale was solid. The team is sitting or in a good position financially, at least from what I can tell. They are launching new things every week, right? We have conflicts out this past week, and we know that they're working on a ton of stuff for the next couple of months and for the second half of the year. And this team has showed, right, despite their size, despite everything, despite the layoffs and all the difficulties during the bear market, they have continued to deliver. So I'm not worried about it in that sense. This game, honestly, to me, it has shown so much resilience. And I don't say that just as somebody who is biased, right? Because I know a lot of the team and I've been in this project for a while, or I'm trying to pump my bags. I've just seen it. I've been here. I've seen it. It's been almost 4 years for me now, and I don't expect anything different, right? Especially with Dave at the helm now and really trying to take the reins in terms of, just focusing on the day-to-day and keeping everybody on task and allowing Matt to do what he needs to do. And again, shout out to everybody else, Investigator, Nate. I'm going to miss all the other people here, but, everybody's contributing, and I do think that the game is firing on all cylinders. So I'm not too worried about that. Whether or not we get alt season and this ends up being like a Bitcoin only bull run doesn't really matter to me in the sense of I think that the team will continue to put out really cool stuff. I still check into the game every day. Yes, I'm playing in Wild pretty much exclusively at this point, but Land is still fun for me. I still love to do a bunch of practice battles and keep up with the new meta. I try to get into tournaments whenever I can. It's, to me, the game is still fun. And when more people are able to come in and discover it, despite the conversion numbers here, despite signups and all that, I do think that we will be in a much better place. All that to say, or I should say, including the fact that I know Dave is working on creating either game modes or whatever it is that he's talking about to bring in massive amounts of players. And when I say massive, maybe hundreds or thousands of players, hundreds or 1,000 players, right? Every month, right? I think that was his goal. He's trying to bring in 1,000 players or whatever it was every month, which again would do significant numbers because there's only 633 spellbooks purchased in the last 6 months. So 1,000 new players coming in, not just signing up, but also buying spellbooks every month would be a massive, massive increase to the game. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Just want to share the update on these numbers, why I'm still bullish and why I'm not too worried. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.